Diane, I'm listening to a podcast, Black Lodge Trivia Night. I've never heard so many game aspirations in my life. Pornhub, no. Leave that open.
Hard? I've never heard of it. I have no idea what you're talking about.
We're not recording, Matt. You don't have, no, I'm kidding.
We are literally recording?
Oh, we are.
It's on.
Recording what?
Yeah. Good. Well, you ready to start?
Yeah, I believe so. I guess so. Pornhub.
Hello. Welcome back to what might be not the final episode, but the final episode of this storyline. Maybe. I shouldn't get too far out of myself, but we're getting started on time tonight. But hey, welcome back to Black Lodge Trivia Night. I'm Matt. Hello, Art.
Hey, Matt. How's it going?
Pretty good. I've been very, we just played last week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think off there I was kind of talking to you like, man, I need something to like get me fired back up again.
Right.
And that has certainly happened this week. So I'm riding a good RPG high, wrapping up, going into the weekend with a solid session of Cyberpunk.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, it's not usual for us to run the same thing 2 times in a row. So I can see how building a little momentum might, bless you, might carry the day a little bit. Yeah,
sorry, I am, I think I mentioned this. My oldest is in preschool.
Oh.
So, like, now we get every sickness. My wife just got over a cold, but now I have it. So don't worry. Playing digitally. I did cancel game night tomorrow night because I feel it's going to be worse tomorrow. Anyways, we're not talking about game night. We're talking about tonight's game.
That's right.
Cyberpunk. But before we do that, we have a little bit of business. Now, I came prepared last time. I'm not prepared tonight.
Okay. I've got something right here.
Perfect.
And the nice thing, I mean, there's a lot of nice things about Patrick not being here, but one of the nice things about Patrick not being here is that we can ask questions about Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me.
Oh, man. I got to tell you, I've only seen Fire Walk with Me once.
Ooh, so this then might be tough.
Yeah. So it will be like Twin Peaks. I've watched a couple times now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'm on my 4th go around. And Fire Walk with Me and The Return, I've only watched once each. Okay.
All right. So in Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, in the scene after the credits. No, I'm kidding. Where it explains everything. And it was all there was a character named Agent Philip Jeffries.
Yeah.
Do you remember that character? It's played by...
That's David Bowie, right?
Yeah, the late David Bowie. He's quite good. So part of his backstory is that at one point he just disappears.
Yes.
Do you remember where he disappeared from?
He disappeared from... No, I don't.
Okay.
Is it somewhere like international or something like that?
It is international.
Is it China?
No.
Okay.
No.
I remember it being somewhere like that. I don't know the specific. No.
Okay. He disappeared in an elevator in Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Part 2 of the question is, do you know where he reappeared?
No. In the town south of Twin Peaks. I don't know. Nope. Somewhere weird. It's kind of goofy, right? No, go ahead and tell me this.
It's definitely goofy, and you'll know why in a second. It's the city of Philadelphia. No, I mean, it is the city of Philadelphia. He reappeared in an elevator in the FBI office.
Yeah, okay.
2 years later.
Yes. Yeah.
And then after he's in that, he disappears again. And do you know where he reappeared after disappearing that second time?
No, I don't.
He reappeared in the original elevator in Buenos Aires in the original year. So he jumped forward a couple of years, reappeared in the elevator in Philadelphia, then just vanished again and turned up back in the old elevator from Buenos Aires in the original time.
Then how is he missing from the future?
Oh man, this is going to be like trying to date your own mom.
Okay, apparently I need to rewatch Fire Walk with Me. That'd be a good to do a Fire Walk with Me minute by minute podcast deal. Instead of all of Twin Peaks.
Instead of all of Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me. Yeah, I would love to do an exploration of Twin Peaks. I don't know minute by minute, but of the movie, yeah. And I gotta say, the movie, the first half is, I think David Lynch sort of, throwing the shackles off and just being because I don't know if Mark Frost had as much involvement in,
right.
and so and of course that carries into Twin Peaks: The Return. It sort of, I feel like, really becomes David Lynch's sort of vehicle there. But the second half of that movie, where they get into the Laura Palmer stuff, I found, the first half is very trippy and weird and what's going on. I found the second half quite the opposite and just truly like heartbreaking. Watch Laura Palmer sort of just resign herself to this horrible fate and just running toward it because she doesn't feel like she has any choice. And so, I found it. And so I don't know if Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me is a lot of Lynch fans' favorite movie, but for me, it really holds up because of just how tragic I found Laura Palmer's story to be when you let it play out.
I don't think anyone would say it's like David Lynch's best movie, but like I feel like a Twin Peaks fan, it's got to be tied with like the Twin Peaks, obviously. Like you're probably not going to go watch Fire Walk with Me without watching Twin Peaks.
Right.
Yeah, we should do this, actually. What we should do is do episode by episode through the main series. Then do a special broadcast of Fire Minute Walk with Me or something like that, where we go minute by minute, and then finally tackle the return. There's still a lot of questions that you read all kinds of theories because David Lynch is notorious for not explaining things.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so there's still, like, I'm just thinking now, like, remember the guy in the apartment where he's just watching the cube? Now I don't even remember what that was all about. And it's just like when you start talking about Fire Walk with Me, it's like, I don't know if that's ever resolved. And there's lots of things like that. Anyways, we should definitely do that.
Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun. And a good reason, at least for us. And maybe for the 7 people that listen or whatever to get another dive in. Or if you haven't checked it out, check it out for the first time.
Yeah, I keep telling my tattoo artist that she needs to check it out. Like, it would be right up her alley, but it's such like a creepy, weird, trippy, but also like so comical at times.
Yeah.
And at times it can be so dark, and then it can be comically dark.
Yeah. Yeah. It really can do it all.
Like Ben and Jerry are just the worst. It's like they're like, it's so, I've talked about this, like they're just jackassing around,
right?
And it's like so dark and manipulative that they go to this whorehouse out in the middle of nowhere, and it's just like, this is gross, but also I'm enthralled by these yahoos. Anyways, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love Twin Peaks, and that's why we talk about it at the start of every episode. But that's good stuff. Good trivia tonight. I like the Fire Walk with Me polls, and it just makes me want to go back to it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been too long for me personally, but
and
anyway.
Like, yeah, you have the film background, so like then it like gives us some credibility because I don't know. I like this episode.
The mise en scène. Oh my god.
I can talk to you about creamed corn for 20 minutes.
And I'll get so far up my own ass, like, and then finally somebody's like, I don't think he knows what he's talking about.
So if we compare these two shots of the creamed corn, you'll notice that in shot number 1 that David chose for an ambidextrous angle. Yeah, just
with hints of Citizen Kane.
Yeah, I love Citizen Kane. Like, not in like a nerdy film way. I legitimately like the film. I didn't see it until like after college.
Yeah, no,
I like watching it.
Yeah, the first time I saw it was for a film class. I'll admit that. But the whole time I was like, this is like a goddamn good movie. It's not just like I have to sit there and like journal about it for a year now, but I was like, this is a great story. Like, it's like the mystery is kind of really captivating, at least for me. And then the resolution of it, of course, where Rosebud is his own father. No, I'm kidding. That's not it. I would not spoil.
It's like 100 years old almost at this point. No, it did not. It's like 70 years old. It came out in
40 or 41 or something.
It's set in the 20s, 30s, whatever. Yeah.
Anyway.
Nice. I do have to mention another film like that, because now that we're so off topic, is 12 Angry Men, the original. That is a master class in filmmaking, and another one that I legitimately just enjoy the story and the acting. Like, it's so good. Yeah,
one of the when I was an adult, it took me a long time to see Casablanca.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, obviously this must be a classic for a reason. Then you watch it and you're like, yeah. It's a classic for a reason. Like, it's
right.
And The Third Man. Oh my god, all these old movies. Anyway,
nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, before we do Twin Peaks episodes, we need to finish Cyberpunk. That's what we're here.
Sorry. Yes.
Tonight. No, that was just a segue. I no need to apologize. I'm happy to talk Twin Peaks the whole time. Again, this is all just validation for my millennial mind that Twin Peaks is a show worth watching. So good. Yeah, we're playing Cyberpunk, which is an awesome system we're having a lot of fun with. We're playing a slightly modified, but generally straight from the book of Tales from the Red. It's the first scenario in there called A Night at the Opera. Real quick. Last night, you got a little shootout as some yahoos bursted onto the stage at this performance by the Philharmonic Vampires, and you were very quickly ushered out once what you assumed to be security got control of the situation. Went all black. You heard the sounds of bat wings. There was some cybernetic smoke, and some red eyes appeared, and then there was this very melodramatic performance telling everyone to leave right away.
Yes.
And that was a couple days ago. So you weren't able to look around. You weren't able to talk to anyone. And at this point, we should both heal up. A couple days has passed. Sing's patched you up. And you guys have talked to... what's her name?
Ooh.
I got it written down here.
Okay.
Nope, that's not it. Your cyber runner.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. I wrote that down.
Yeah, I got notes somewhere.
Radius.
Radius.
Yes.
Almost lost my book. Yeah, you've talked to Radius and stuff, and Radius, like, she chimed in. She's like, "What the hell did you guys get into? Like, there was like some serious like cybernetic shit I was picking up there at the end, and you probably tell her security, but you and Sing are sitting around the bar. Maybe you're patched into Radius, and all of a sudden you get a text from Reaper, and it says, "Purchase an extra large bowl of noodles with kibble flakes at the indicated coordinates. Wear a green hat."
And I'm looking at that, and just like, okay, Cloak and Dagger. But at the same time, like, he's paying the bills. So if he says, dance, I'm going to ask, how fast. So I turn to Sing and I'm like, weird question, a little random. Do you got a green hat?
No. And he kind of like leans back. He's like, "Come on, green? No."
Okay, so then I'm like, oh god, all right. Just above the table is this a like, hey, we gotta get going now, or is this like on the morrow?
Let's say it's like around lunchtime. So the implications, because of the implications, you deduce that you should go now.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna head out and say like, okay, Sing, let's go. We gotta meet the boss. And I'm like, well, struggling for a green hat. And so I don't know if the green hat should be like, "Kiss Me, I'm Irish," or if it should be like a beach hat.
Nice.
With like the extra brim to keep the sun off of you, because I'm just going through like random stores, like on the bodega
Lost
levels.
and found for tinted.
yeah. So let's go with the former. It's like a "Kiss Me, I'm Irish" hat.
Okay, nice.
And I'm like, oh, god damn.
Wow, styling, bro.
Right, because like I can't take off the mirror shades, so
No.
I got to put the dumb hat on.
And Sing like looks at you. "You're gonna wear that for real?"
And I'm like, not now, Sing. But
Like,
yes,
he knows what you look like.
Yeah, I know. I know it's it seems, I don't want to say punitive, but but let's just let's go. Let's do what he says. Let's see why we're gonna jump through these hoops. Maybe he's got some information.
All right, boss man. Where are we heading?
We're gonna be ordering some noodles and kibble from coordinates longitude 42, latitude 11. I don't know. But I sort of point. I sort of bring up the Maps app on my
Yep. Which those coordinates point you to the University District, directly right outside the cafeteria of Night City University campus.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So yeah, so I sort of poke that into my agent. I'm like, okay, let's get there.
All right. Yeah, so you find it's lunchtime. This area is swarmed with students. You know, they're enjoying their lunch and whatnot. They're
Okay.
sitting out on synthetic grass, and it's kind of like a little plaza area.
Mhm.
You, of course, are... Did we come armed?
Honestly, yes.
All right, so you're sticking out like... We're both sticking out like a sore thumb. Like, one, campus security is nowhere to be seen, and everyone is looking at us like... Why are these guys packing heat? But
Yeah, dressed like the Matrix.
yeah, in a Irish hat.
except for that dumbass hat. Yeah.
So you walk by all kinds of students and like you overhear conversations and stuff. Are you paying attention at all, or you just plod along towards the?
You know, that's a good question. I'll say this: I'm pretty aware of how much I'm standing out. And so I'm probably more fixated on that than taking in my surroundings. Nice. And, you know, I'm more like, is this creating a response? Is this, you know...
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm probably not attuned to like a detail like the teeth in the other situation.
Yeah. So some conversations like stop as you walk by and Sing's like... He's maybe lagging back a few steps, but eventually you find that the coordinates point you to a noodle truck right there in the center of campus. And you go up, place your order.
Yeah, before I do that, maybe like that's when I sort of stop and like, just you know, like, is somebody watching me? Is this, you know, can I tell who? I'm not like going, you know, it's more like, hey, don't turn around, but you know, somebody's. So I'm trying to just sort of subtly, you know, get it taken now. Is there something about this that might be a little more off than I believe, just to make sure before I tip my hat, even though it's pretty
give me a
obvious.
perception roll.
Yeah, no problem. Let's see.
Mechanics here.
Perception. But there we go.
Top left.
14. Okay.
Nice. Yeah. So right away you don't see Reaper. Instead, you see about 6 of the Philharmonic vampires kind of lurking around. Like, not maybe one's like right up by the truck, and then you like maybe you see one like poking his head out behind a fountain or something like that. But they're around and they're watching the truck, is what you notice.
Okay. So I think
they all have like their fangs, and they've got like heavy eyeshadow. They're wearing like Matrix garb too. Like, they stand out.
Okay. All right. So what I think I would do is I'm going to sort of picture like, you know, the food truck has like the window where you place your order. Maybe it's got a little metal thing where they put the order when you're done. So what I do is I sort of rest my arms like a little bit crossed so that my coat fluffs up a little bit.
Oh.
And my gun is right here.
Nice.
So I do this and I put my hand on my gun, and then I sort of tap my other hand like I'm about to place the order, like I'm thinking for a second, and then I place the order and just sort of leave my arms up.
Okay. And you place the order, yeah?
I do. Yeah.
Nice. They all approach as soon as they see the order. Maybe the chef or something like taps his little metal spatula, a certain whatever, but they all approach, and one of them walks right up to you and introduces himself, and it's all very melodramatic. I am Renfield.
Nice. And so I'm still sort of leaning because my hand's on the gun, so I just turn around and I'm like, sort of look at, I'm like, well, I guess you're the ones I'm meeting, huh?
And he reaches into his trench coat pocket and he pulls out an envelope. An invitation. The master summons you.
And so with this, what I try and do, are they sort of surrounding me?
No, they're like, this one's kind of like standing in front of like the 5 other ones that are
Okay.
brooding behind him.
All right. So what I sort of do is I sort of, almost clumsily take my arms away with my gun out, and then I sort of turn to take the envelope, and I sort of have my gun sort of behind my back, but drawn, as my other hand's free to take the envelope. And what the hell is Singh doing?
Singh is like, maybe he's talking to some co-ed,
I was about to say,
he ordered first. He's like, no, hold on, I need to eat. So he's like 3 mouthfuls into like a bowl of pad thai, and just like, you got it.
You got it, boss. All right.
Cool outfits, bros. And all of a sudden, Renfield, he gives you this very melodramatic bow,
Mm-hmm.
and then they like disperse.
Okay. In my head, they like throw homemade smoke bombs and then try and run away before.
I almost had them do that. I'm not even kidding. I was like, man, but then it might startle the students. I was like, man, like really shitty smoke bombs would be dope.
Right. And I don't think Cyberpunk's meant to be that kind of.
Yeah. Or like What We Do in the Shadows. All 6 of them just yell, bat.
Right. So again, to take this seriously, so then so as they disperse, I, give them a moment. And then once I know they're not looking at me, I sort of put my gun back in my holster and, just slide my fingers through the envelope, pop it open, and,
it's just a piece of paper inside, and it's written on like old or like artificially old, stationery.
Okay.
And it says, your presence is requested at the stroke of midnight at the opera house to meet with the master.
And I sort of nod. And I'm like, all right. And so I sort of
He comes by and he like picks up the bowl of the thing you ordered. Like, you're not really gonna eat that, are you?
And I just take my hat off and I just throw it in a trash can. I'm like, no, you go for it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay.
So what I would do at that point is, I'm like saying, eat that in the car, we're going.
Yeah.
And so I would basically what I would do is I would return to my office. It's lunchtime, so I imagine if you think the bar is empty at night when the bar is supposed to have people in it, imagine what it's like at 2 p.m.
Right.
So what I do is I say, okay, let's have a little confab here. And I try and get Radius on the line.
Yep. So she's there.
And I'm like, Radius, if you can, I don't know if it's anything to this, but see if you can do a handwriting analysis of this letter. And then I dial in to the Reaper.
Okay.
Yeah, and I sort of give him, assuming he wasn't a part of this, I give him a little update.
Mr. DeWitt, I heard there was a little incident a few nights ago. I hope my text or my message to you is perhaps moving things along. We are against the clock, I'll remind you.
Right. So, sorry, just above the table, was he the one that got that letter started, or was it a different message that I'm now blanking on?
Letter started.
Was he the one that got the he's not related to the thing we just got from the vampires?
No, he sent you the message to go pick up the noodles.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so he did sort of instigate all of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, that's going to recontextualize then so I'm not filling him in. He knew about this stuff.
He knew about me, and he's probably now heard about what happened a couple nights ago.
Okay. And so I ask him, like, why, did you know about the vampires beforehand? I mean,
well, our client may have had some suspicions, and of course I trust you, and I'm aware you're fully capable, but I have my own way of handling things, and was able to establish a mutual connection. I think your time with the master, I think, will prove to be fruitful.
All right. Do you know anything about this master that I can use going into
really
this?
Care about the master.
Okay.
I think he's a harmless goober. He wouldn't say goomer. He's a harmless twat that really is an insignificant little peon in the grand scheme of things. But he may have some answers. Not worth my time.
All right. In that case, then I'll keep you updated on what they have to say, and we'll.
Thank you so much for this phone call, Mr. DeWitt. It was a valuable use of both of our times.
All right. So then I hang up, and then, you know what, Matt? In game, we're going to need some time to analyze that phone call. I mean, did he sound touchy? No, not really. Did he sound angry? I didn't want to make him angry, but like,
a little upset.
Yeah.
I mean, you pissed him off, buddy. I don't.
All right, I'm like, okay. So given that, I'm like, and so the meet is back at the Opera House.
It is.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I think, and we can sort of fast forward through this, but I think what I would do is, again, I would try and show up early.
Okay.
Recon a little bit, see if, how they're responding. Is it just a cleanup crew? Is it dead quiet in there? But then, barring anything unusual leading up to it, I would then show up at the right time. Yeah.
So let's say it's like a weekend night, or it's Friday, since students are still eating on campus and stuff. But by the time you get there, you get a little bit early. The whole area is busy. So again, the disappearances and even the shootout haven't really deterred any college students. But there is really no outward sign that anything went down here just a few nights ago. The Opera House is, it's not police taped off or anything like that.
Okay.
And so, like the security they had working the other night, they're not out front. There's nothing like that. It's just like, it's a busy Friday night in this part of town.
Okay. But for all intents and purposes, it seems like the Opera House might be open for business.
Yeah, other than there's like not a performance tonight.
Got it. Okay.
There's nothing like really popping off.
Okay. Yeah, then we just go in.
Yeah, you go in, and at the top of the marble stairs, there's a vampire, of course, dressed in a fancy black suit. And when he sees you, he smiles, and of course he has fangs. He says, "The master has been waiting. Come." And then he motions you to follow him kind of abruptly.
Okay, so I think with that, I obviously I comply, but I'm not going to be like, oh, okay. It's sort of like trying to maintain some semblance of cool after the baseball cap. So, I make my way up the stairs trying to look like a professional.
Nice. So you head up the stairs, and there's a bar, and he stops at the bar, and he says, "Can we offer you some refreshments?" And there's a red beverage, of course, and then there's some, I don't know, there's like some stale cookies or something like that. And there's a couple burlesque dancers going around. There's not loud music. Again, there's not a performance or anything, and they blow some kisses. But
okay.
Eventually, you're led down a hallway that ends at it looks like ornate wooden doors, but you quickly determine like this is just synthetic veneer. But there is a seal of gold kind of on it. It just looks like some kind of ancient symbol. And the vampire has been escorting you, knocks on the door 3 times. And on the third knock, the doors just kind of swing open by themselves. And inside there's a room with red carpets covering the floor, red tapestries hanging from the walls. So just like red. And except there's black candles. There's 2 large chairs at the opposite end of the room and a fake fireplace with a holographic fire. And there's a man standing in front of the fire with like a woman that you make out to be his assistant standing next to him. And this is the gentleman that looks just like Bela Lugosi.
Got it. Okay, so I've seen this person before.
This is the guy who gave the over-dramatic, "My performance is ruined.
Right.
There'll be no retaliation."
Right.
And he snaps his fingers, and like the assistant lady, she shuffles out with her clipboard, and he turns. And again, it's this very mellow, dramatic, but Mr. Singh, Mr. DeWitt, I appreciate your assistance the other night, but I assure you, my team could have handled that situation. But my thanks nonetheless.
And so, I just kind of, I want to say something, but I sort of hold for a second because I'm not looking to get this meeting off to a bad start yet. So I just, sort of bite my tongue and shake my head, and I'm not going to say it, but I'm like, this guy called the meeting, so I'm going to just sit here.
And he gets a little, like, a lot of this guy seems very fake to you. And he gets a little uncomfortable, and he breaks the silence first. Like, we have a mutual, and he's doing like this stupid, like, acting voice that you can tell he's like making his own voice deeper. That we have a mutual problem that must be dealt with. Now, by now, you may have deduced that this problem is somehow related to us. Fair. I will tell you about an old friend of mine. No longer a friend, a betrayer. Lord Ruthven. Lord Ruthven, my old good friend, arrived here just after Night City was bathed in fire and offered us a glorious rebirth. A restoration of the Philharmonic vampires. He was a visionary and artist. Plus, he had considerable monetary resources. But he had a dark side and many secrets that he did not share with us. What we do pays homage to the past. We may partake in archaic rituals and drink the occasional glass of blood, but we are not monsters, not murderers. We are romantics. There is no art left in Lord Ruthven. Now he's only a monster. He began taking it too far, and when he confronted us, he threatened to kill us all. He's more than capable. You see, he's gone cyber psycho. And then he does this like really dramatic rubbing of his forehead.
So at the mention of Cyber Psycho, while he's sort of trying to dial the daytime Emmy up to 11,
Yeah.
I'm trying not to react at all, but it's sort of like the single bead of sweat starts coming down. Like, I'm actually shaken by what he just said, where I feel like he's isn't really.
So Sing knows you, right? And so like Sing, like, while he's doing this like head rub, and he's like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
And I just go, blah! And I ran out of the room. No, not really. Yeah, so I obviously, keep it together, but so here's the question. Is it okay to just say I keep it together, or is that something that you want to be like?
Yeah, no, I think
okay.
it's fine. No,
Okay.
I think it's fine. I mean, you're still professional. Like, you got screwed over, but I don't think just mentioning like you're around cyberware all the time.
True, that's true.
And just people lose it and it's all too much. But Ruthven kind of like finishes doing the melodramatics, and he kind of looks at you and like, seeing that you haven't said anything yet. Ruthven is beyond our control, and that's why I have summoned you here. We will allow you to kill him.
That snaps me back in. I'm like, okay. I don't know if you know this, but I can kill any goddamn person I goddamn want.
But of course, I understand you're a man of capable means without retribution, and you must understand we can't be seen assisting the police. So, yes, we will allow you, and I promise you no retribution.
Okay. And so I look at him and I'm like, look, man, I don't know if you know this, but I'm on a job. And I get paid for what I do. And so why would I want to kill? I mean, thank you for your blessing, but why am I going to do this when I'm on a clock getting paid by somebody else? Like, what's...
Because he is a monster and he is a murderer.
And so I was just sort of, sorry, I had my book open. I was just sort of trying to look something up. I have a skill called conversation.
Okay.
And it's the skill of extracting information from people without alerting them with careful conversation.
Nice. Okay.
And so what I'd like to try and do is I want to find out if this gentleman actually knows something about the disappearing girls.
Yeah.
And he's not telling me, he's just implying this guy's a monster, wink, wink. Like, I want to know, like, does this guy maybe know more about the missing girls than just the implication that Lord Ruffin is the one doing it and we need to off him?
The implication.
The implication. Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Is that a role or is that just like an ability, or do we like, you want to keep role play? How do you want to handle that? Because I love that, but
it is technically a skill if you would like me to roll it.
Yeah, roll it. Because I think you were setting that up.
Yes.
With like, why do you even want us to get like?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do,
Nice.
and there I got an 18.
So he gives you the whole monster spiel. What do you say next? I mean, and it's going to work. Like, it's going to start happening, unwind to a certain extent of what he actually knows.
Right. So what I say next is, I say an 18 of conversation. No. That's why I rolled, Matt. So I sort of look at him, and I'm like, clearly you want him dead. And I understand that he's a monster, but I don't know if you've been around I don't know if you've been around the city much, Night City, but if that were the only thing standing between a person and being dead, I mean, we'd have a lot more dead bodies. So
surely you've heard the news. These awful girls. And
I'm like, sure, yeah, of course I've heard the news, but what do you care about the girls?
He is a murderer. He is a murderer.
And I'm like, okay. I get
Mr.
that.
DeWitt, I have a reputation. I have a family that I must protect. So you must understand why I will be withholding information from you. I don't know you. I don't know this goon you've brought with you. Says to Sing, and like Sing's not like a totally jacked dude. Like, he's physically fit, but Sing's like, what?
Right.
A medic, man. He is a murderer. He has a sick fascination, a sick perversion. And if anyone would be behind this, would not be surprised at the least if Lord Ruthven was somehow involved.
And so I nod, and I'm like, look, up to this point, I connected, I don't know if all this is true, but I'm going to bluff. And again, if you want me to roll, that's okay. I had all these girls connected to your club. All these girls' disappearances connected to your club.
It's impossible. Give me a persuasion roll.
Okay.
I've got a number in mind, and your conversation was 18, so
another 18.
I'm still. Oh damn. Okay, yeah. He's like, that's impossible. None of those things happened here. I wouldn't let him dissect them here. Oh. And like, maybe he doesn't even notice. Maybe like now he's just worried about the club, so he doesn't even like startle himself.
Okay.
He just comes out and says, "Like, I would never let him do any of that work here. I would never let him dissect those girls here."
And I'm like, okay, well, let me ask you a question. Who is your family? You said you have a family. Who are your family?
My brood.
The people in this club.
Yes, the rebirth of the Philharmonic vampires, and I am at the helm.
Of course. 7 of your family members have disappeared.
No.
And at the hands of this monster. And you're telling me I can't do something to protect my family. Could I please outsource this job because of my reputation? If it were my family, you couldn't stop me from making sure that those people were avenged, found, taken care of, whatever it is.
No. First off, those girls were not part of my family. Those were just girls. They're off the street. They may have been watching a performance here. but he took it too far. I do not wish to make my hands dirtier than they already are.
Okay. Out of curiosity, not that it has to elicit a reaction.
Yeah.
When he's saying like, "Oh no, those weren't my family; they were just trash on the street."
Right.
Is there anybody in this room that could be like, "Wait, what?"
No, it's just you three in there now.
Got it. Okay. I'm like, okay.
So, we permit you to kill him. Here is his location. And then he opens up a desk drawer and he gives you like a data slate or something.
Okay.
And he says, now, take that information along with this. And he pulls out a wooden stake. Now, make haste and make sure that the task is done right. I will, of course, also make sure you are paid handsomely through our mutual connection, Reaper.
I'm like, okay.
And he says that, but like, obviously, like, Sing looks at you like, we can pay like regardless, right?
Right. Pay to play. I mean, this is getting paid no matter what. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I amp up my disbelief when he hands me his steak. And I'm like, okay. Is there anything else I need to know? And I'm like holding up the steak. He's like, is there anything else I need to know? Like, do I need to garlic chop off his head, put him in a wooden, what do I need to do? Sunlight?
Please, the steak is adequate. As you saw today, we can go in the daylight, but a message must be sent.
All right. Sounds good. So I turn to Sing. Well, I just sort of like start to stand up. I'm like, I appreciate your time, and I look forward to your payment.
Oh, Reaper, of course, will be handling the payment.
Sure.
We give you our blessing.
Noted. And that's payment enough. So then
I'm so glad that you see the Philharmonic vampires will not forget this act.
And that sort of makes me go, okay, maybe this isn't the organization I'd want in my pocket, but when you're...
That's who you got, baby.
But that's who I got. So
got
I'm like...
a brood of pretend vampires you can call on at any time.
Right. So that's the thing. Like, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first person who owes you a favor. So... so I'm gonna say like, okay, like this is how I rebuilt. This is the first shit I can call in, and I don't get to be picky about the first one. So, so with that, I walk out and I immediately go blink, or whatever it is to try and get in touch with Reaper.
Yeah, no response.
I'm like, okay. And so then I take the address and I say, and I feed it to Radius if Radius is available.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Radius is listening the whole time.
All right. I'm like, Radius, tell me everything you know about this place. And this is Lord Ruffin, if you know anything about him as well.
Let me see. I'll see what I can find out about Lord Ruthven. Let's see. This is over in South Night City. Something called Union Chapel. Looks like it's an old church or something like that. A bunch of rubble around it. Still standing though. I'll see what I can find out about Lord Ruthven.
Okay. Yeah, appreciate it. Just get back to me when you have anything. And then so then I turn to Sing. And I'm like, let's go get eyes on this place and start figuring out a plan.
Okay. So you guys head that way. And the front door to the chapel stands open. And there's a neon open sign flickering every few seconds. You look around the entrance carefully, and to you, it kind of looks like this, like a mouth, just waiting for that meal to walk in. You also notice that our friend who got away from the club, the monk ganger, is standing outside, standing guard.
Okay. Is he alone?
He is alone.
Okay. Okay, so with that, I tell Singh, get in position to potentially grab him, but don't look like you're about to grab him. And I approach.
Hey, Ellis, but like right when you start to stand up, hey, I've got something on Lord Ruthven. This is weird. All right, you know that university you guys were poking around at earlier today? I guess
Yeah.
Lord Ruthven is tied to this Professor Huntver who's been missing for a few weeks now. He's a real creep. Got in trouble for stalking Barbara Dahl, that news reporter. It's all very, very weird. Ever since that, he hasn't shown up to work. But there's some links between that name and him. I don't know. That's all I found so far.
Okay, and I'm like, you got a picture of the missing professor?
Yeah, she patches one through, and I don't know. He's got like a long, pale face, maybe long hair.
Shocking. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like, I appreciate it. Thanks. And and if there's any other information you think I should know, just let me know.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep digging, but it seems like this guy kind of appeared out of the blue, and then hasn't been seen. Like I said, it's kind of weird. The only deal is this like stalking charge, and that got filed against him.
Okay, and so above the table, Matt, you said the reporter's missing, right?
No.
Just stalked her.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Am I able to get a picture of her? Do I know what she looks like?
Yeah. Seems like, wait, you don't know Barbara Dahl? Nightly News, man. Night City Nightly News.
And then I turn into one of these assholes. Oh, I don't own a television. No, not really.
So, like, you know who Barbara Dahl is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, once he mentions the name Barbara Dahl, am I able to say, like, oh, shit, these girls look like Barbara Dahl? Or is there any... Not really.
Interesting. Yeah, let's say they do. Let's say they let's say you, like, patch that through to, not Reaper, gosh. Radius. You patch that through to Radius. It's like, Radius, like, we like tell her, like, run some, like, facial comparisons between, like, Barbara Dahl's college picture or yearbook or whatever you can find. I guess yearbooks probably don't exist in Cyberpunk anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Find something when she's younger and take a look at these girls. And Radius is like, holy shit. These girls could, like, be her sister or her daughter. I don't know, but there is a striking resemblance between these girls and Barbara Dahl.
Okay. Is there anything to... So, Matt, just above the table, the professor who's missing, he's missing, stalks the reporter.
Yeah. Gets a police report of some kind filed against him for stalking.
That's what I was about. Okay, so this was made official. This turned into a real thing.
Yeah, that's how she found out about him.
Got it.
At least a warrant, like some kind of paperwork was filed. Maybe there wasn't a lot of following up, but ever since that like initial follow up or the police getting entered, the professor hasn't been seen since.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, no problem. Let me think for a minute. So I think... So I'll tell you, Matt, overall what I'm thinking.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not a what's the class? Is it a solo?
Yeah, right.
That's not me. And that's not Sing.
Right.
So I need to make a deal. So what I'm going to do is that's why okay. So there's a decent chance that the monster is potentially this missing professor who's spun out of control once, things came to a head with the reporter. It probably would have cost him his career. And this could all be a vengeance thing. Matt's like, no, that's not it at all. Jesus Christ, have you not listened to anything I said? So I start to sit there and I'm like, okay. I approached the guy outside of outside of the front, the guy from the other night.
The bunker.
Yeah. And so I look at him. Does he recognize me, or was it too
I don't think
crazy?
he recognizes, but as you approach, he like whips back his monk robes and he draws out his gun. And he just says, "Black mass for our Lord, black mass for our Lord." And now he's just pointing the gun at you.
And I'm
He's
like,
not firing.
I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Booby.
Nice.
Shining white knight. Come on, John, let's talk. So I'm like, look, I don't want any trouble. I was there the other night at the Opera House.
Let's see how well this is going. I want to look at one skill real quick to see if it's better to roll than your 130.
Okay. And also, again, I just want to make sure Singh is out of periphery.
Yeah.
And
He's
ready.
hiding. Yeah,
good,
this
good,
guy
good.
can't
Okay.
see him at all. And he's got his gun. He's doing Overwatch, all that stuff. Yeah. Give me a... not acting. I guess just persuasion.
Just persuasion. Okay.
Yeah, just persuasion.
Yeah, this is this is where I'm going to start rolling terribly. 14. Not amazing. Not amazing at all.
Okay. He's at least not firing. Like, he's listening.
Okay. That's, I guess, step one.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, look, you nobody knows who I am. You don't know who I am. My name is Ellis DeWitt. And I'm a fixer here in town.
He's like looking around nervously. Like,
I'm like, look. All I have is a business proposition for you. I just need 5 minutes of your time. Will you give me that?
and he's very nervous, and like his hands like shaking a little bit. Give me another persuasion roll. Let's see.
Cool.
How well you're doing.
17.
Okay. He's listening, but he tells you, it's like, I can't. So he stops like muttering the nonsense. I can't go back in there. He will do things. No. And then his hand stabilizes, and then now he's got like a firmer grip on the gun. It's pointed right at you.
All right. I hear that. No problem. Let me just see. Let me look at my skills really quickly.
Sure.
And what I'm going to do is this is probably going to go very poorly. Where would that be? Right? No. Technique? No, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of be like, okay, hold on. I'm gonna reach in my coat. Yeah, I'm like, and I pull my coat aside and I show him my gun's over here. I'm just reaching in my coat, and I pull out the letter that they gave me from the other group.
Okay.
And I'm like, I just want to show you something. All right, is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. And so I sort of bring it over and I try and get to his side so I can like show him the letter.
Okay.
And I'm sort of holding the letter up. And I'm like, look, this letter, and while this letter is held up, what I want to do, and I don't know what the shit. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to block his vision a little bit with the letter
Okay.
and grab the gun.
Ooh.
So like the letter's like this and he's looking at it, and then below the letter, I grab the gun.
Okay. Give me...
I don't know if that's brawling. I don't know. That's what I was trying to figure out what that would be.
Yeah.
Athletics?
Well, no, it could probably be...
Stealth? I have no idea.
Yeah, no, we can find this. Let's see. Maybe be stealth or athletics. Maybe... We could also, if you wanted to, maybe... I know it's not right on, but conceal, reveal object. Just like a little like pickpocketing kind of street magic going on there.
Okay.
I'll let you kind of take your pick here.
Okay.
But I don't see, like, there's no sleight of hand or anything like that, right?
Right. I mean, if you let me choose, I would choose stealth. But I could see how conceal, reveal object fits better.
Yeah, I'd also take athletics though. I'll take stealth. I mean, it's anything like doing anything discreetly. So I'll take stealth. I'm interested to see where this goes.
Okay. 19.
19. A 19 will... It's pretty good. That's a pretty good roll. 19 is like just below like something that requires heroic. Here's what I'll say. With a 19, you go for the gun and it scatters like into some rubble away from him.
Okay.
So you've at least disarmed him, but you're not holding his gun.
Okay. And then...
Hey, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. And so as soon as his gun's away from him, I'm like...
I can't go back in there.
I'm like, I got that. That's why you need to come with me. I've got a gun trained on you right now. If you fucking move any way that I don't want you to, I'm going to fucking drop you.
And Sing like flicks on like the laser.
And
laser sight, exactly.
Yeah. And I'm like, do we have an understanding?
Yeah, I just can't go back in there to him, man. I can't go back in there.
I got that. I can help you. But you got to get in my goddamn car. And if you don't, I'm going to fucking drop you right now.
Okay.
And like I'm talking, but the minute he's not looking, I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I can't
he's just like, how the fuck did that work?
Yeah. And so, I'm like, get him in the car. And I'm like, Sing, you keep that thing trained around in his fucking head. And if he moves, if he just twitches the wrong way, you put his brains all over the back of the window.
Okay. And then like Sing, like, yeah, you got it, boss. He's like holding the gun on him. And then he like pulls his head out of the window, like talk to you above the car. It's like, hey man, what are we doing?
Oh, don't worry. I got this.
Should I like put him to sleep or something? I don't.
Can you do that?
Yeah. I mean, I got all kinds of stuff. I don't like.
Then yeah, do that.
Do we need him?
We're gonna need him.
I'm
yeah.
not super comfortable like blowing a guy's head out point. Like I'll do it, but like,
I don't,
man. Like,
it's the implication.
oh yeah, right. It's the implications.
We're gonna ride that Always Sunny joke right into the ground.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're putting him to sleep.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Sing just does it. There's no reason to roll. If he fails, I don't know what would happen.
Like, you kill him, probably.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Oh shit! I gave him 2.
Nice. We won't roll for that. So yeah, like Sing gets his like you guys came like locked and loaded, right? Like you've got your like your go bag, whatever, full of shit, and Sing's got his whole like medic kit and all that stuff. So he gets some like anesthesia or something like that, and just like he pops down in the car and is like, "Hey, Ellis has something to say to you." And as the guy turns away, it's just
right. Nice. All right. So once he's out,
Sing's just like, now what do we do?
I get on the phone.
Uh-huh.
And I call my deported girlfriend's father, the cop.
Okay.
And I'm like, don't hang up. Don't fucking hang up. I've got a witness to the girl's disappearances, and I want to give him to you.
I'm about to hang up, but I'm listening.
Full disclosure, we've drugged him and he's unconscious. But I can bring him to the precinct.
I can deal with that.
All right. And here's all I ask in return. I need you to investigate. And I just start, like, have you heard a name on the street called Lord Ruffin? Am I saying that right? Sorry. Is it Lord Ruffin?
Ruthven.
Ruthven. Yeah. I'm like, have you heard that name?
No, unfamiliar.
Okay. Have you heard the name of Professor So-and-so, the guy who's disappeared?
Oh, yeah, the professor's name. Yeah. Well, no, he, like, clacks around for a little bit. Yeah, this creep with the news anchor, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys investigated that because it was in your...
It wasn't us, but we all heard about it.
All right. I think there's a possibility that the missing girls are connected to this missing professor.
Okay, how do you know that? I'm losing patience to it.
I'm like, honestly, you want to hear whole stories about, orgies and the Philharmonic? Like, do you want to hear the...
into it?
No.
Come on.
So let me drop this guy off, and when you wake him up, talk to him. And I guarantee you he's going to start pointing fingers at Lord Ruthven, and which is a name you're going to get very familiar with because it's also going to be the name of this professor, and it's going to wrap up all your missing girls in all one nice little bow.
DeWitt, if you're fucking with me, bring me the witness, then I'll listen. Bye.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm like, oh, God, I didn't think that was going to work either. Everything's coming up Millhouse. So I'm like, okay, so Singh, can you bring this guy back out of it when we get to the police station?
Yeah, sure. I can give him some stuff.
I'm like, okay, then let's get him over there.
Don't you want to see what's inside?
I'm like, we're gonna come back, but again, and I'm like, you know what, Singh, I'll tell you, I'm not a solo, right? I'm not just gonna walk in there and put a round in this guy's head, but I'm hoping.
We put this in his heart, and he brought the like wooden stake that you were skeptical of.
And I'm like, yeah, we could do that, but Booby, John, I make deals. All right. So why should I kill him when I can get the cops to kill him for me?
All right. We still get paid that way?
Oh, I'll make sure of that.
I'm pretty sure that, as a flashback to episode 1, that Reaper distinctly did not want to get the cops involved with this.
Flashing back to episode 1, Art did not remember that.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. Look, as long as we get paid, I'm fine to see this through to the end. But if Reaper's not going to pay us because we didn't make the bust.
So the goal is to find this one particular girl.
The most recent girl missing is, however, connected with Reaper. There was some kind of implication that they didn't want the cops involved for whatever reason.
Okay.
He didn't really provide that in any way. And then obviously the Philharmonic vampires explicitly told you they won't go and work with the cops.
Got it.
And also there's a non-zero chance, just for like full disclosure. I don't know how this would pay out, but like gangers aren't really going to work with cops either in Night City. Like this guy, the monk, he's just a gangbanger. Like, so you're kind of rolling the dice that also, which is totally fine. I'm very much okay with playing that out. Just to like give you the full rundown that, he may not be cooperative once you turn him over to the cops. Or maybe he will. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So then here's what we're going to do. So we bring him to the police precinct.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So you guys get in the car, you drive to the police precinct, I assume.
Yeah, but we don't bring him out. And I'm like, okay.
Drop him off?
No. I go inside and I'm like, look, I need to talk to ex-girlfriend's father.
Yeah, look, we have 3 ex-girlfriend's fathers working. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
And so, like, if he's willing to give me a minute of his time, I'm like, I'm going to bring him out to the car.
Look, DeWitt, where's this witness? Come on, man.
And I'm like, he's right here. And as you can see, he's not in any condition.
Seems like eating on noodles on top of the hood of the car. Oh, no, not me.
I'm like, look, if you want to get any information out of this guy, we need to stage this interrogation in a very particular way.
DeWitt.
Now, do you want the information or not? Like, do you want to?
I don't like you.
I'm like, I know. That's why I'm giving you the key to clearing 7 missing girls off your board.
All right, I'm listening so far.
I'm like, all right.
If we do anything illegal, I'm busting your ass and his ass. He nods to Sing.
I'm like,
whoa.
I'm about to say I'm fine with that. And Sing's like, wait. I don't think he speaks for me here, sir. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, here's what we're going to do. Can I, with my audio gear, that's Cyberpunk stuff, can we turn this into a 2-way feed?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah.
I'm like, all right. What we're going to do is I'm going to take him back to the Philharmonic. And I want you to listen in. And if there's anything you want me to ask, you tell me and I'll ask it.
Okay. Now, above the table, the Philharmonic wants their hands clean of this. They don't want to be involved in any way.
So maybe...
I just don't think that they would have given the implication that if you bring a ganger from, like, he wanted distance from Lord Ruthven. Like,
right. Okay.
He wants, like, I think I see where you're going with this. I just don't think the vampires care. They want him dead because it's a black stain against them. They don't really care about the girls, I think.
Right. Okay.
There's no information they want.
Right. So let's bring him to, I go through like, okay, my Rolodex. Do I got like an empty building somewhere in Night City that I can...
Yeah, your bar.
Touche. So I bring him back to the bar. Okay. And, I make sure he's... No, you know what? I don't restrain him.
Okay.
We're going to do a little good cop. And I tell Sing, like, have the night juice ready just in case this goes south.
Sure.
And if ex-girlfriend's father is willing, I'm like, I put him upstairs where I crash or something, so he can still hear. And and so then and then I tell Sing, bring this guy out of it.
Okay. So he gives him a shot like of adrenaline or something like that. It's probably for your benefit that we killed the clown because the clown had all the cyberware. So it would be like interesting, like you finally get this guy up and you're going to talk to him and then you see all his cyberware and lose your shit.
I lose it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he wakes up.
Okay.
And this guy is like, he's a tweaker too. Like, it's not like he's some level-headed.
Right.
So the first thing he starts off is he starts in with like the Black Mass for our Lord all over again. And then he kind of comes to, it's like, hey, where the fuck am I, man? I thought you were taking me somewhere safe. This place is a shithole.
I'm like, yeah, no. Like, A, how dare you? And B, they're never going to find you. And then, so I sort of turn to, but maybe before we wake him up, I sort of turn to Sing. And I'm like, Sing, I know you're a doctor.
I am a doctor. I don't know why you use quotations every time. Like,
it's not like I'm a dentist. No, I'm kidding. No, absolutely joking about that. I'm like, do you have any barbiturates in your bag? Do you have any like some truth serum kind of drugs that we can use to like halfway anesthetize this guy and get him to talk? And I get it if the answer is no. Why would I have that if I'm a medic?
Yeah. Let's say no.
Okay. I'm like, hey, just asking. So then we bring the guy out. I'm like, yeah, no. Look,
hey,
man.
Give me a luck roll. Let's see.
Oh, okay. Can I just click that? There we go.
Yeah, we'll use some
13.
Let's say no.
Okay. That's perfectly fine. So what I do is I say, okay, look, man, trust me, like this is the last place your friends will come to look for you. And my intention is to keep you safe. But in order to do that, you got to tell me why you can't go back in there, first of all.
The place is fucked, man. That guy did some sick shit. If I go back there, I'm dead. I'm double dead now that you guys took me. He's like, I'm supposed to be watching Lookout while he does God knows what down there.
All right. All right. All right. Do you have
Look,
any
man,
idea?
this isn't cool. I have nowhere to go, and like you've ruined my life. I mean, he is a sick, sadistic bastard, but at least like I had a place, and so far he hadn't skinned me like the other guys, so I had that going for me. Now I've got nothing.
All right. All right. So skin me like the other guys. What are you talking about there?
Like, take a knife and cut their skin off, you dick. Like, what are you? What?
Right. No, I know what skinning means, but have you seen him do that?
Yeah, there's a whole rug of our skin on the ground. I don't.
All right. All right.
Yeah, I saw him do it.
All right. All right. All right. Then one thing at a time. All right. So that's what you're afraid he's going to do to you. And you've seen him do it to other people.
I'm a little concerned that he's going to cut my skin off, or, worst comes to worst, I guess if I'm lucky, I guess I could be chained up and hold mass for him as a human sacrifice, but like, yeah, I don't know, which is worse. Which one do you want, buddy?
Honestly, hey man, I'm trying to keep you from either of those. And so you've seen him do that for a human sacrifice as well.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
He just thinks you're like the stupidest person. Like,
exactly.
yeah,
Yes.
I've fucking seen it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Every Tuesday, a new human sacrifice. No.
Right. So with that, I'm like, okay, good to know. All right. So why don't you tell me a little bit about Lord Ruthman?
Why don't you fuck off, man? Like, what? He's a freak.
No, I know that, but tell me where does he come
from? He put a
from?
ragtag group of us fucking nobodies together and just got down to some weird, freaky shit behind his little altar of his.
All right.
I don't know, man.
All right. All right. Look, if you want me to help you, you need to stop speaking in generalities and panicked phrases. And I need you to tell me.
Cut our skin off.
Okay. I'm not getting what I need. And if I don't get what I need, I'm going to put you back to sleep and I'm going to drop you off in the front door. So I'm going to start
the front
asking.
door of your bar or his place?
His place.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sure. I'll help, but I don't get it. Like, why? How does this help me? What are we doing here?
I'm like, okay.
Hey, bartender, can I at least like get something to drink? He like turns to Sing, who's like propped up against the bar.
I'm like, yeah.
So he Sing like was rather disappointed in you for not going inside the death house, like gets the top shelf stuff.
All right. And I'm like, okay, here's what I need you to do. I need you to tell me who Lord Ruthman is, where he came from, if you know those things. And then I start showing him pictures of the girls. I'm like, do you recognize any of these girls?
Look at me. I'm a fucking gangbanger. This guy hired me. Hired a whole bunch of freaks. Like, I gotta say, not the best of the best. All right. If I'm the brightest guy there, then, well, we're not at any Mensa Institute or anything. All right, buddy. I don't know. He hired us. We're security. Sometimes we snatch these girls, whatever. He's a freak. Takes him back behind his little altar. We don't see that stuff.
Okay.
I don't know these girls. I don't know who these are. Get them out of my face.
All right. I'm like, you know what? That's probably more than I need to know. I appreciate it. And then I'm like, why don't you just sit there and enjoy your drink? And
That's it. That's your idea of helping me. Is you pour me some rather shitty scotch, and like it's like, I don't know.
It's the best I have, but yes, it's shit.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And so with that, I give Sing the signal, put him back to sleep.
All right, so Sing does it,
and I'm like,
as he's dozing off, he's like, there's the top shelf stuff. Oh yeah.
And so once he's out, I just sort of ex-girlfriend's dad. Like, was any of that helpful?
I mean, yeah.
All right.
Okay, so you got some gangbangers coming off the street, skinning people alive. I mean, doesn't really point us to your missing gal.
Okay. All right. Oh, but didn't he just say, yeah, we grabbed those girls?
He said they would grab people off the street.
Okay.
But he said, I've never seen these girls.
Okay. And I'm like, then you know what? Fine. I'll see if I can get you more information.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to go drop this guy off.
Well, you know what, DeWitt? The less I know, the better.
All right.
Like, give me something concrete. You're right. This guy sounds like a real sicko, but we have sickos all over the city.
Perfect. Okay.
And if someone's skinning gangbangers, I don't know. Sounds like it's something off my plate.
All right. Good to know.
I'll get to it when my plate's a little less full.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Then I'll stop wasting your time.
I am so glad we had this conversation.
All right. And then
I'm not saying you can't pursue this. If you want to pursue this, like we can play it out and like we can try to persuade him to get on board. But I'm just saying I don't think there was enough there for like what I imagine a Night City cop to do.
Mhm.
But
that's no problem.
okay.
So then I turn to so once the cop's gone, I turn to Radius.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me see. I need to source some explosives.
Nice.
So I'm trying to see. Let's see.
You're all streetwise.
Okay, I was going to say I have the Fixer ability. Reach is the highest price category of items a Fixer can always source.
Oh, nice.
So I have a reach of... It says you can always find a place to source up to expensive items for your clients on a piece-by-piece basis, even if they are otherwise unavailable.
Sure. So you can get your hands on some explosives.
Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically, under this guy's like vampire outfit, I'm going to... How am I going to do this? I want to wire him like a bomb.
Okay, I love it. I love that you're also like casting a bad light on your newly acquired allies.
And so what I want to do is, I'll tell you what above the table the general plan is. I want to drop this guy off, wire to explode. And if there's a way for me to know when he's next to Ruffian, that's when I want to, Ruthven, that's when I want him to.
Ruthven. Van almost, but
Ruthven. Okay.
No, I was just going to let you keep doing it.
Rothward. That's
how about you call me when you at least get his name? All right.
Right. So I talked to Radius. I'm like, hey, does this place, is it wired? Does it have any cameras inside?
Ooh. You know what? You got to get me inside. If they're not on the grid. You got to jack me in if
okay.
I need to be connected there.
All right. I'm like, do you have a tracker you can put on this sleepy boy so that you want? Just something so you know where he is in the building.
Okay. Yeah, sure. If you give me schematics of the building, or you know what, I can get schematics of the building. So she gets to work. Yeah. Tracker inside the building. You want him mic'd up?
If it can be, yeah.
Okay. I'll see what I can do.
All right. I don't know if this planning is going to work. Could all go to shit.
Package. You can expect a package at your door soon.
All right. So
you never see Radius.
Right. So I wait for that.
Sure. And you get it.
Cool. So I set
your explosives.
Yeah. So I set all of this up. I sort of, again, under the clothes, I wire the explosive. The tracker I stick inside a shoe. I don't even care. And I bring the unconscious gangbanger back to the place.
Okay.
And so I'm just sort of how do I want to do this? John, booby. So I just sort of let me think for a second. You know what? Let me see. Do I have here's what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is going to be helpful. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to take the letter that was given to me to wear the green hat, whatever, blah, 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 that was written by, I assume, the vampires.
Oh, the master wants to see you at the stroke of midnight.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and forge a letter that sort of implies that the guy we're dropping off, is on the take for the vampires.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Um,
That would maybe be like he's broken our peace deal, right? Because Lord Ruthven was working with the Philharmonic Vampires before he started this own little
right.
Yeah.
So
maybe you're framing it like that. Like, hey, this is we need to meet. We need to talk.
I rolled a 17 for the forgery, if that matters.
Yeah, nice. I like it.
Okay.
You get it. It looks great.
And so I go up again. I don't know if this is going to work. I go up and knock on the door with this forged letter ready to go. The guy wired with explosives.
Door's wide open, remember?
Oh, right,
Still
right.
wide open. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see anyone moving around.
All right. So I sort of got this guy, Weekend at Bernie's style over my shoulder.
Sure.
And I'm just sort of walking around trying to see if I can get anybody's attention.
Okay. You're walking in the church.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice. Very nice.
So you walk in and you're in. I need to describe this room because it's a little nasty. Just inside the doorway hangs 2 candle holders with blood red candles fully lit. There's what looks like a leather carpet rolled out, but as you look at it, it's human skin. On the flip side, the skin displays random gang tattoos. Whoever made this took their number on quite a few gangsters because it covers the whole area. All around the room, there's rotting, skinless bodies sitting at each table like their patrons there. There's a rather colorful display of cybered heads resting on the bar with red candles melted, kind of attached to them. On the far wall, a stage dominates the space. A pentagram, you assume painted in blood, decorates what appears to be an altar of more human remains. Strung from the ceiling is a ganger dripping blood, breathing barely, chanting, "Black Mass for our Lord." You come down the stairs. There's a second set of stairs behind you that lead down. Below you hear symphonic music echoing from below.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess I sort of walk in.
Down the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I sort of just, if nobody's looking at me, I try and get their attention.
No, the only person alive is the guy that's like dripping blood from the ceiling.
Okay. So in that case, I check around and I see if there's any cameras, any way to sort of jack radius in, like he was saying.
Not in here.
Not in here. Okay. All right. So what I do is I put the gangbanger into one of the chairs.
Okay.
I sort of that way I'm not sort of just lumping him around.
Yeah.
And I go up to the bar and I fix myself a drink and I bring it back to the table and I sit. And so while I'm doing that, maybe I tell Singh, there's nowhere for him to really, is there anywhere for him to hide? Like, no, you know what?
Maybe
Because I want him to be able to leave when I leave. Unless there's a way for him to sneak out.
I mean, he could sit on the stairs. Like, so the stairs that he's on, there's like a second set of stairs going down towards the music.
Right. Okay.
And then if you're like over here or whatever.
Yeah. So maybe I tell him, stay by the stairs. And I just sort of, sit there for a minute and I wonder, like, is anybody notice me? And if not, then I'll go down the second set of stairs.
Okay. No, that's what I'm saying. In this room,
there's
the
nobody.
Only living thing, there's no cameras. The only living thing is the guy hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, so in that case, what I do is I take the forged letter and I go down the second flight of stairs.
Okay. You going down alone?
Yes.
Okay. The stairwell leading down is littered with ammo casings. Again, there's red candles neatly placed along the handrails. At the bottom of the steps, there's 2 large white doors. Adorned with red pentagrams, and a crucifix hangs upside down above the door.
I'm like, okay. And I knock.
Okay. All you hear is that symphonic music playing.
I check to see if the door is unlocked.
The door is unlocked.
I peek my head inside.
Okay. You open your head inside. And you step into a chapel with about 6 pews
Okay.
on each side. Actually, this door over here is the door you came down.
Okay.
So you came down over here, and then you step in. At the far end, an altar with a full body conversion bolted to a large metal chrome crucifix. Music drones from the old sound system just to the left through large speakers. 2 large cables hang over the first row of pews, one on each side. The cables are hooked to 2 black-robed figures seated up front. Neither of them moves. And what kind of cyber tech do you have? You have the audio suite, and what else?
That might be just about
Okay.
subdermal pocket. So I mean,
Yeah, the hidey hole.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So they don't notice me.
They
right?
don't move. Yeah.
Okay. And
Oh, you have amplified hearing?
yes.
Give me a perception. Like, how amplified do you think amplified hearing is?
So I sort of picture it like, I don't know. That's a good question.
What's the maximum you think amplified hearing would allow you to hear?
Let me see. Does it tell me? It just says +2 perception for using hearing.
It's +2. Just give me a perception check.
Okay.
Just go ahead and roll.
Yeah, I'll see if I can hear it. And if I don't, human perception, I guess, right? Or is it regular perception?
Do you have 2 different skills for that?
Well, social skills, there's a human perception that I would probably.
Oh, no. Just give me a perception roll.
Okay.
For awareness skills. Yeah.
Okay, with the +2, click my amplified hearing. There we go. 14.
Okay. Yeah. So all you notice is that they're not moving.
Okay. So I try and stealth up behind them. I don't want to tip them off yet.
Give me a stealth roll.
18.
Okay. It's pretty good. But as you move to the altar, the 2 figures jerk to life and stand up. They spin around super fast, and that's when the robes go flying off to reveal 2 automated turrets armed with assault rifles.
Who? Then I try and dive behind some of the pews.
Okay. Let's roll initiative.
And that's the only thing I saw in this room, right? These 2.
Yeah, these 2.
Okay.
All right. Is it reflexes for initiative? I can't believe I've already forgotten.
It was yes. Let me get up to Friday Night Firefight. I have it marked here. Initiative is reflexes plus 1d10. Yeah.
Yep. All right, so we're going to roll reflexes for me.
All right, my reflex is 13. My initiative roll is a 13.
Okay. And... All right. So since you were like on your toes, let's say you're moving first and you get to react.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking to get back up the stairs. So.
Okay. Yeah. So you could.
I would do the double move if I got.
Yeah.
I don't know how close I got, but.
Sure.
So let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Get you behind the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe if I maybe even I have to dive through it or something. So maybe I could be prone.
Naturally. Yeah, they're firing the whole time. I mean, they're automated turrets. Like Singh runs downstairs. He's like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
And I'm like, "Get back upstairs. We're getting back upstairs." I need you to get...
shit.
yeah, so I'm like, we got to get back upstairs.
I got to turn off the thing that makes them like zoom across the screen like that. So it's just like not you like transporting through blackness.
Yeah, and so
who did you piss off down there?
I'm like, it's just goddamn like turrets. Like, I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, you had 2 fully automated turrets with assault rifles just go nuts on me.
The Reaper says, assault rifles, I can deal with those, but you got to get me jacked into them.
And I'm like, okay, what do you need? What do you need, Radius, to get jacked into those?
I need you to connect your data into the ports at the base of those turrets.
So I just need to get next to them.
Yeah, right.
You know what? I'm like, okay. I'm like saying, you stay by our friend here. And if those guns alerted anybody and they come knocking, tell me, because I want to talk to them.
Now, hold on. Just 1 second, Ellis. And he picks up the ganger. It's like, we just strapped this guy full of explosives.
Yes.
I think there's an a pretty obvious solution here.
I'm like, look, you want us to blow up the turrets.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I want to do is I want to blow up Rothvan.
Well.
But okay. Okay.
Well, I'm not running up next to those turrets.
Right. No, I'm not. I wouldn't ask you to.
Well, good. Okay. Then you do whatever you want.
Okay. So I go back downstairs.
Okay.
And did they stop firing or do they just fire for like a length of time? Is there any way for me to know?
Yeah. You hear them maybe you hear them whirring around. Like they're on and activated now.
Okay. So yeah, if there's something I can like grab to throw, like a
sure
satanic hymnal book or something.
Body parts around. There's all kinds.
Oh,
of
that's yeah. I grab a body part and I just throw it into the room.
And you hear bursts of fire as it goes flying across the room.
Okay. So here's what I do then. I get a whole bunch of body parts.
Okay.
And I throw one across the room to draw their fire, off to the side. And when they do, I move up one.
I should tell you something before you do this.
Okay.
They have separate data ports. So you could only get into one at a time.
Okay.
Okay. Just so you're clear.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep throwing, I'm going to throw a body part over there.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and advance up a few pews out of the line of fire.
I will allow this.
Okay.
To see what the hell you're up to.
All right. And then once I get here, is it okay to move myself?
You should be able to move up there.
So once I get here, so I'm hiding.
Yeah.
And I throw another body part over here.
Okay.
And I try and advance up another pew.
Okay. Give me a stealth roll.
Okay. Stealth is... I just rolled it. Here we go. 19.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So far, so good.
Okay. And just for my memory, because I'm terrible, this is an altar, right? That they're on top of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, they're in the first rows of the pews.
Oh, so they're here.
Yeah. They're guarding the altar.
Okay.
There's a curtain behind the altar behind the crucifix.
Okay.
Or a door or something.
So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to throw a body part over here.
Sure.
And then I'm going to try and slide up behind the first one. And how big is the turret itself? Is it just is it big enough for me to sort of crouch behind one while the other's shooting, or is it not that big?
It's maybe not to cover your whole body, but
okay.
You could get behind it some.
Okay, so what I would do is I would throw a body part and then I would try and slide up behind it and sort of plug into one of the data ports.
Okay. Okay, give me a stealth roll.
Another stealth roll. This is where it's all going to come apart.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, like, okay, if he fails this, what are we going to do? But
That's my problem, I guess. 17.
17. That's pretty good. Okay, we'll keep. Yeah, your little skeet shoot for the turrets so far is working. Let's just say like these are old, kind of outdated, not maintained turrets without the latest.
I think that's enough qualifiers to explain how. No, I'm kidding. I get it. No.
I'm very curious to see where this goes.
All right, and so I jack into one of them.
Okay.
For Radius.
Yeah. All right. So Radius says, "All right, I'm in. You cannot pull me out until I'm done. You understand that, right?"
I do.
Okay. Like, Ellis, do not pull me out until I'm done.
Got it. And so I just sort of sit there as quietly as I can. And if they start to notice me, I get ready to throw another body part.
Well, what happens is like they're on, you throw a body part and then they start their sweep again, right?
Okay.
It's like each time you're throwing a body part, it like resets their sweep around the room. Like they're picking up body signatures, right? They're not like they're picking up heat signatures or whatever.
Right.
Okay. So here, if we had a runner, we would do the whole like getting through the black ice and how far do you want to like advance, and like they have certain actions they can take.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll some dice. Okay. Interesting. I wonder why that rolled as art, but I'm not. It doesn't really matter.
Do you have me clicked?
Yep. Oh, that was a D66. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So, like, excruciating time goes by. And eventually she jacks out. Oh, fuck. All right. I'm out.
All right.
And the turret, let's say that she took control. She's like, I've got control now.
Okay. Is this turret able to target the other turret?
With me in control, sure.
All right. So I throw one more body part.
Uh-huh.
And I tell Radius, like, look, when the other one pops off, you have the one you're under control. Take the first one out.
All right, give me an athletics check.
All right. 17.
Oh, nice. Okay, I was kind of hoping you failed that. All right, so you throw it, and it doesn't pick you up, and it does its skeet shoot thing, and she just blasts it. Like, she unloads everything it's got into that other turret.
And I'm just like, all right. Thank you, Radius. Now, Radius, can I detach? Are you still in control if I unplug?
I got to jack out. Hold on. I got to deactivate this thing. You don't want me going out yet or it's going to come alive.
Is there any way you can stay in control of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you can, stand by. All right.
Okay. All right.
And so I'm like, okay. All right. And so then I go and I investigate what was behind the...
Yeah, so there's like a doorway of some kind, like kind of hidden, but like maybe just like hidden by a screen, and there's like a solid door behind it there.
Okay. And with that, I try and...
Actually, as soon as you step towards the altar, you're immediately interrupted by a towering figure who steps out from behind the partition. He wears a black medical uniform and a flowing black hooded cloak. His face is gnarled by large metallic fangs, which have stabbed jagged curves into the corner of his mouth. And Lord Ruthven immediately lunges for you and says, "Witness my supremacy."
And then I say, Radius, fucking take him out.
All right, let's roll initiative.
All right.
Again, so this will be a new... I don't know actually how to set up an encounter in here, but that's okay. Create encounter. That's fine.
Yeah, if you
Just roll.
if you sort of like group select and then right click on them, there should be like 2 crossed swords and a shield. That should.
Oh, nice.
And that
so
should.
you should be able to roll, and I can roll.
Yeah. So I don't know if Rothvan is part of
Yeah,
the.
right. I'll have to do something else, but I'll figure that out.
Okay. Now
I don't have stats in here.
Why is this not popping out?
Oh, let's see. 8. I'll go back to. So you got an 8.
Yeah.
And Ruthven.
I thought I could do that. Pop out the.
Oh, okay. And then the turret. Ooh, that's too bad. So there must be some kind of like lag time for whatever reason. So Lord Ruthven will be up first, and he's lunging right at you, and he will basically try to sink his fangs into your neck.
Fair enough.
No, we didn't roll melee combat at all last time.
Right.
So we need to do that. So he moves forward to you, he dashes forward, and then he jumps out, and he is trying to sink his fangs into your neck. And melee combat is attacker's dex plus the relevant melee skill plus 1d10. So your evasion is your dex plus your evasion skill. So it's your evasion. If you just roll evasion.
Okay.
Just roll evasion.
23.
Oh, shoot. Okay, well, the bad news is he's got a... Oh, baby. All right, so he tries to sink his teeth into you, but it's like what he misses somehow and just completely evade. You completely evade it somehow. What does that look like?
Yeah, so... he's going all in. He's leaping at me, trying to grab, and it's not like I do something slick, but I managed to see it coming from far enough away where I'm able to, like, sort of at least dive to the side and roll away from it a little bit.
Nice. Okay.
Now in my head we're both prone, but I'm happy to be prone.
Nice. Yeah. Let's say you both go prone. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So Singh gets some distance, right? And he leaps over the bar, and then he pops up and he takes a shot. And we'll say you guys are you're in the third pew maybe, and Lord Ruthven is maybe in the middle pew, kind of between the second row of pews.
Okay.
So that will put us at my range chart. What do we say? Yards was 1-to-1, basically.
I think so. Yeah.
On meters. And now this is the official squares from Cyberpunk, which I know we converted it last time, but this is our own. Is it 1 meter a square?
I thought it was roughly that, right?
Yeah, I can't remember. Sorry. Move. Gotta find the move rules real quick. So I know you move up to your square. No. A square is 2 meters because you can move double your move as meters, or squares equal to your move. So every square is 2 meters. So and then what I say, meters to yards is 1-to-1. Meters to yards. Yeah, 1-to-1 basically. So every square is 2 meters. So he's 2, 4, 6, 8 yards away from Singh right now.
From Singh, okay, yeah.
I just lost my page of range. I've got an assault rifle. He's 8 yards away. That's going to be a 16 to hit for Singh.
All right.
Oh, it's going to hit. Love it. I don't have a target because I don't have a token. Whoops. No modifiers.
Nice.
Oh, shit. 17. Okay. That gets through. And I need a pin or a die. I'll just take notes in Word. Okay. Good. Over to you, buddy. And I will start a Word document to keep track of his armor.
Okay.
Let me get a token, even though I should have made one. Like I said, let me just make something so we can actually see where he's at, because that's going to help.
Okay, cool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm heading towards the door.
Uh-huh.
And maybe I do a double 2, 3, 4. I get to the door, so I have some cover from that.
Okay. Oh, you're putting some distance between you and him too.
Yeah.
Here, we'll use a callback to. It doesn't really matter. We'll just use that for a good old callback.
Nice.
Okay.
Cool. All right. And so, yeah, so that's my move. I sort of get myself in position over by the door.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You gonna take a shot?
Can I do that if I do a double move? I can't.
Oh,
right?
you did double move? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Whatever that's called, that's what I did. Yeah.
Okay.
And and that's my turn.
Okay. Then it's round to the turrets.
Yeah.
And the turrets are right there. And they have... That's on them. Assault rifles, CH 174. Doesn't really give me what I want, but that's okay. D10. Ooh. That, for whatever reason, radius must be off her game or something like that. 13. It's at like point blank range. She needs a 17 to hit.
Oof.
Rolled a 2. I don't know. You know what? Radius comes in and she's like, "Hey, there's some. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get through. There's some kind of override here that doesn't allow me to target him as cleanly as I'd like. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
All right. Well, faster would be better.
Yeah. So it's Lord Ruthven's turn, back to the top of the order, and he has. That's why you put your stats in the game, but that's okay. He's got a good chunk of moves. So 1. So he leaps on top of the bar and he jumps up at Sing. And this time he has Wolvers, which I assume are wolf claws. I should look up cyber gear. Cyberware. It's on page 115. Let me see what a Wolver is. Yeah, long claws. Okay.
All right.
So he will, and he's got a rate of fire of 2 on this.
Oof.
And they are excellent quality, and they hurt. Okay, so here's the first attack. Okay, and then here is my evade.
Make this count, Sing.
Yeah, no shit. It's gonna hurt if he doesn't. Oh, my evasion's not great. No, not enough to evade. And then he is going to boom, boom, boom. Well, he rolled pretty bad.
I was about to say, those could be worse.
Yeah, could be a lot worse. So that's 7 coming through on Sing. My armor. I don't have any armor. And then here's the next attack, because he's got rate of fire 2. And here's my evade on this one. Okay, that's less.
Oh.
Yeah, still not enough.
Oh, okay.
3d6.
Mm.
Okay. Whew. Well, that's interesting. And that's going to do some damage to Sing, and it's Sing's turn. He will try to fire, although he is at... I need to break these range charts. Alt. Well, let me just roll and see if it gets... Oh, 23, that's going to hit.
Nice.
Oh, baby.
Whoa.
Okay, so Sing is just getting like torn apart, and he gets a free second to roll away, and he just he rolls away, and he's like, oh man, he's got to say something cool. I don't know. Here's a little daylight, asshole.
Nice.
Bam. And deals 28 damage to this son of a bitch. And that definitely hits. So that takes so okay. Over to you.
All right. Well, with that, Jesus. I guess I would... Oop, I just closed the door. I'm trying to measure distance. I don't know how far.
Every big square is 2 yards.
All right. Are you able to open the door in front of me? Apologies. I closed it when I was trying to check distance.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there we go. So I'd be about 20-ish meters, which for...
I don't know if that scales right. Because, again, in Cyberpunk rules, it's 1 square is 2 meters.
One of these actual squares is 2, so it'd be...
The big squares,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it might be 12 meters.
Yeah.
That's going to be close range, so that's a 13. So I think what I might do is I might take 2 shots. I'm the last to go, right? So we're gonna...
the turret's still got to go.
The turret still has to go. Okay. So I'll take 2 shots with my pistol.
Okay.
So let me quickly bring up my character sheet and let me just pop this out really quickly. So I'm going to use my heavy pistol because it's got a rate of fire 2. First shot. Here we go. Roll an attack. 18.
What was your close range number?
My close range number is a 13.
Nice. That hits.
It's a hit, so I'll roll damage. 14 points of damage.
Okay. So armor will soak some of that. Okay.
And then my second shot, let's see, I'll roll again. 19.
Yeah.
And damage is 15 points of damage.
Okay. All right. He's hurting. Over to the turret. She's like, all right, I think I finally have it online. Oh my gosh.
Okay, I guess not yet, right?
And it swings all around. It's just like a full 360 around the room. I'm working on it.
Radius, we're going to be dead by the time you figure this out.
All right, so it's Lord Ruthven. He's going to bear his teeth down into... So he's opened him up, and he took the shot back, and then all of a sudden he just whips forward. He's like, and he bites down into him. His bite actually is a lot less effective. A 4, okay, so that's not bad. So to dodge that, I might have a chance here. No, I don't dodge.
Oof.
That hurts. Just 1d6 on the teeth. I mean, he really wanted to kill me, go with the claws, but he's a freak and he wants to suck my blood. It does have a rate of fire 2, so here's the next one. Okay. I'm liking these odds. Oh, boy.
Ugh.
Well, when he's got you pinned down, it's pretty hard to to deal with. Now,
Sing, you gotta want to live.
Yeah, that's right. Let me check. Armor damage. Because once you're over half health, you have a modifier, right?
I think so, yes.
I gotta look up that modifier. Damage 186. I should really get the player aid or the GM screen for this. I am mortally wounded. -4 to all actions. -6 to move. Oh no, that's less than 1 HP. -2 to all actions. And then it's a DV 13 to stabilize me. So -2 to my roll here.
Okay.
And so and it's close range, so it's really hard shot. Let's just roll it. Other total mods. Oh, nice! It's picking up my wound state automatically if you update your health in the deal. Oh. So I'm just I'm not able to get a shot on him, and yeah, it's not a good situation for Sing. So over to you.
Okay, I'm gonna take 2 more shots.
Okay.
Oops. There we go.
I don't think you can target it. I've got it on there it's on a token.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, I'll take a shot. 31.
Oh, and hit the damage above that 31. I wonder if it. Just curious what it does there. You can roll the. Okay, so
it looked normal.
Yeah,
3d6.
I think it's normal. I think you just get exploding dice to
Got
hit.
it,
I don't think
got
it does anything to damage.
Okay, so do another 12 points of damage.
Okay. Bring that down. Okay.
1 more shot. 21, which also hits.
Okay. Damage.
17.
Oh, baby. Nice.
Now it says, and then critical damage 5. So I assume.
I think the first. Let's see. What is your heavy pistol normally roll for damage? 3 damage.
3d6.
Right,
yeah.
We should just look up how critical damage works, so we and the listeners know.
Right, because I think it's trying to tell me something special there. Like with the 28, I think it had the similar thing where there's another 5 of critical damage. I don't know if that's just
Oh yeah. Then he's going to be in bad shape if that's the case. Combat actions.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just an extra 5 that goes past armor. If there's something special.
I need a searchable.
Let's see, crit damage. Let me see.
Yeah.
Critical injuries. Whenever 2 or more dice roll for damage from a melee or range attack comes up 6, you inflict a critical injury. All crit injuries deal a bonus 5 damage straight to the target's HP.
Oh shit! Okay, nice. Okay, so he's taking 10 points of damage.
10 more points.
So the first time, roll 2d6 for me real quick.
Right, I was about to say, and then we roll 2d6 on the. There you go.
So I got a 4.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
On the critical injuries.
I'm just curious, what this guy ends up looking like.
I guess that could be critical injuries to the body table.
Yeah, unless you're aiming, it's always to the body.
Yeah, so that would have been Sing's.
Yeah, that's Sing. So he pierced his lungs at some point.
Right.
Collapsed his lungs.
Right. And then for me, my critical. So yeah, there's an extra 10 points of damage.
Yeah.
And then an 11.
All right. So your first shot that didn't do a ton of damage, that 12, it blasts his finger off, one of his it's like one of his cyber claws goes flying off.
Okay.
And it's -4 to all actions involving that hand. Because we're drift. But tell me how you drop this guy, and do you do anything extra? Sing's getting lash and stuff, and you shoot him, and when the body collapses on him, the wooden stake that Sing was carrying collapses on the floor and rolls out under the bar.
Okay, so then again, I'm not a killer really. So I'm 200 gallons of adrenaline. I run over to the guy and I just pull him off and I don't even check to see if he's dead. I'm in such a panic, and I see the stake and I grab it in a panic, and I'm just making sure thun, 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 psycho shower scene just to make sure.
Nice.
this guy, and then finally, like, I start to calm down and I just leave it in him. And I look at Singh and try and assess if he's all right or not.
Singh will be okay. But your curiosity gets the best of you. And you move. Singh will be fine. This guy is
and then I would
dead.
check the room. Yeah.
So you move past the tapestry and you step into a sterile white hallway. There's an oversized medical pod emitting a green light, and inside are 6 naked women crammed inside. You notice, after you've taken a good look at her, that each of them has been biosculpted to look exactly like Barbara Doll, the Anchor Woman, to varying levels of accuracy. And whatever reasoning behind this is gone with Lord Ruthven. You do find that there is one survivor, barely conscious, and slicked with cryofluid from a smashed pod. Maybe some bullets shattered or something like that. But the others are long gone. The lone survivor, of course, is Lucy Reinmeyer. And underneath the body sculpting, you can confirm that it's her. And you ask her, you say, "What's your name? What's your name?" And Lucy. And then she passes out.
Okay.
Lucy Reinmeyer, after therapy, will be able to lead a fulfilling life once again, is what Reaper texts you. And he lets you know, this is like in the future, right?
Yeah.
And he lets you know that the bodies of the other women have been returned to their families, and the Reaper's employer has paid for all funeral services. And that they also paid for post-mortem biosculpting to return them to their natural bodies.
Okay.
You're paid your wagers. And then we cut to the master of the Philharmonic Vampires. And he sits on stage with one solo beam of light, and he sits at a table and he holds a goblet full of red liquid. And he says, "As our tale meets its bloody end, the curtain falls on tonight's entertainment." And then, like, he waves his hand and the curtain starts to drop. "Sleep tight, Night City. Lock your doors, bar the windows, and turn out the lights. And maybe, just maybe, the monsters will pick another house tonight."
Nice.
Boom.
One quick addendum. The guy
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
The guy that's unconscious upstairs, I grab the explosive off of him before I leave. So he's not still wired.
Nice.
But yeah, otherwise, very nice. That was really fun. I was trying to, blow up Ruthven because I figured he was going to kick our ass, and he really did.
Yeah.
But I guess we got lucky. So sometimes
the damage rolls were big. So
Yeah.
just like peeling back the curtain at this point, he has like 50 points of HP and starts with 12 armor.
Whoa. Okay.
But we were like getting through that armor. We got his armor down to 6 at the end of it.
Okay.
And, I mean, serious points of damage. But like you saw how much damage he did to Singh.
Yeah.
Also, I don't like the turret fight without having a net runner like there, and there's not really statistics for the turrets.
Okay.
So whatever solution you kind of came up with on your own, I was cool with just kind of like I'll turn off token vision so we can or I'll just go to the bar. Like whatever solution you kind of came up with, I wasn't gonna like completely hand wave it. Like if you had failed those stealth rolls, I was gonna have like Sing pop up and start putting down covering fire and draw their attention or whatever.
Okay.
I didn't like that part. I was really hoping you were going to use the body to explode the turrets so we didn't have to like worry about them. But like the solution you came up with, just basically tricking them into skeet shooting, is brilliant.
Yeah.
And then,
sorry. Go ahead.
no, I rolled like a couple checks, like a couple D10s to make sure that what's her name? Gosh, our hacker like did some success of hacking instead of like going through the whole process. If you're
Right.
playing this, if you're listening or watching, you're like, that's a whole other thing if you want to actually net run against the turrets and stuff and the defenses they have.
Okay.
But then once you're in, you can take control or you can like attack them to like shut them down and that type of thing.
Got it. So in the end, like, what did you think as the GM? What did you think of all this?
I really like Cyberpunk as a system.
Yeah.
I think there's really good crunch to it. I really like combat. What you mentioned with Dragonbane and what we've talked about on the Discord is this kind of idea of armor class maybe shouldn't be the be all end all of dodge and soak damage.
Right.
It's kind of two things. Does it hit, and what is the effect of combat? Now that I know about it and I've thought about it, I really like it.
Nice.
I really like combat in this game. Obviously, like there's more I need to learn and get better, but this was like our first time playing it. So
Right.
yeah. What about you? What did you think?
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I got the sense like I was trying to wheel and deal a solution instead of just tackle it head on.
Yeah.
And I feel like I should have just tackled it head on, because not that this was like a railroady scenario, but like the goal was to go kill the guy. Now I was kind of curious, were there all these things in place, or were you giving me prompts like, hey, you need to go here and kill the guy? Like, were you coming up with prompts because I was dragging it out, or were you sort of running?
They're in place. I mean, when you took the guy back to the bar,
I knew that was a bit of a detour.
I wasn't exactly how I was gonna like role play that. Like, obviously that's not in the book. And then I was like, well, I'm just gonna like play it as a guy who just like cares about gangbangers,
right?
And that's probably not gonna get the detect. Now, if you kept going with it, then like, yeah, we could have gone. Like, if that's obviously how you wanted to resolve it, and maybe you did, and maybe I railroaded you there a little bit, but
that's okay. Yeah, no, I didn't feel that way. No.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I was thinking, I was like, I don't know if this guy would have like enough evidence to be like bring Night City SWAT down on this church when they have a million other things to work about. I mean, like, it's a rundown church, and I guess, yeah, there's some like high net worth, someone's daughter's missing, but again, we didn't have like, there's no like positive ID on it. Like the witness didn't work out like you wanted. So,
and that's okay. Like, so this might be like a damn fine coffee topic, but you know, I don't know if RPG should always be yes and, right?
Yeah, right.
And maybe that's not a topic.
It's okay to have a story to tell. I mean, railroading gets a negative connotation.
Right.
Now, it's also okay to say, hey, you work a deal, you turn over legit witness, and the police go in and bust the place, and it works out that way. Like, they deal with the turrets, and they lose some losses and stuff like that. That's fine. Like, that's a perfectly valid story, too. But it's also okay to, like, come in as a GM and, like, I don't really care about the story. It's out of a book. But it's okay to have a story you want to tell and guide your players along that path.
Yeah, and I often also think, like, you know, I'm not going to railroad you, but the world is the world.
Right.
And, you know, like, if I was like, well, I just want to fly, you have to say no, right? You know.
Right.
That's why I don't always feel like yes and, because, like, sometimes the world works a certain way. And it's not me being a jerk or trying to railroad. It's just maybe I haven't conveyed clearly how the world works, but.
And that's why I reminded you about the reluctance on both sides to involve the cops.
Right.
Now, if they were both okay with it, then the cops would be like, that'd be a fine solution. But both kind of said like, hey man, no cops.
Right. Which I had totally forgotten.
No, and that's totally fine. But like, that's how you do those things. This was.
Yeah. I confess my intention was I figured he'd be a tough fight. I wasn't probably equipped to handle it. And so I was trying to, that's why I kept one turret open. Or I was trying to blow him up. I was trying to lead him into a booby trap,
which would have been sweet. Like I would have been happy to like have you blow him up. The risk of blowing him up, of course, if you blow him up in the wrong spot, is you kill Lucy.
Right. That's a good point, because I didn't know she was there, so it very well could have killed her.
I think he's probably pretty hard, just like mechanically. The clown or the monk guarding it, if you have more runners, there was more guards, so you can't like pull that off. But with just like two runners, it's just him.
Right.
Those two guys at the first fight at the opera, and again, this is all spoiler stuff if people are listening, like they're only supposed to be there for 3 rounds, cause some chaos and leave. Now we got the drop on the clown, and they would have been there to fight, obviously. So
okay,
I mean, there's stuff like that.
Yeah.
What's cool about, and I talked about this when we did this is not written like a, I don't know, like D&D adventures I'm familiar with. It's very much, here is a beat that you can introduce to the story how you see fit. And if the players pick up this piece, then you go to that beat. Or you can pick up that beat and kind of change it. The whole beat of him with the stalking charges on the news reporter and stuff, that's if you had listened. I don't like this. I think this is damn fine coffee conversation. It's like overhearing conversations that lead you to like a big piece of the story.
Yes.
And I don't always think to do that. Like, oh, my character is listening to what these like college co-eds are saying. Like, No, I want to like get to the piece. So like when you said, "Hey, what do you know about Lord Ruthven?" It's like, bam, that's where I can like, because it doesn't make sense for him to sculpt them into the news reporter unless you go to his office on campus to find out his obsession with the news reporter. So when you had the hacker
Yeah.
Radius, thank you, run the data on Lord Ruthven, it's like, great, I can pick up that beat. We don't actually have to go there, and I can at least give you a little bit like, oh, there's this like stalking charge. So you get like this guy is a creeper that's, you know, like gone off the deep end. Anyways,
I have to say, I really like the idea of what you're describing with this sort of beat setup for, because that's sort of how I think of it. Like, again, I often say like what I was just saying, like, I'm not going to railroad you sometimes, but the world is the world. And in my head, the world being the world is these beats, you know,
right.
That information is out there. Like, do I find it in the office? I don't have to. The office might, you know, because if he's gotten charged with something, that's going to be out there. And so you at least know what's happened in the world so that you can, as you did, insert it as needed where it makes sense. So you're not railroading me.
Right.
You know.
Well, it also allows for creative railroading, right? Like, it's like, okay, I pick up the hostage and I'm planning, I don't want to engage Lord Ruthven myself. Okay, you pick up Lord Ruthven and you bring an encounter, like you come up with a new way, which I didn't do, but well, guess what? The security guard's got a tracker. I'm like, you're going to put a tracker in him. You go to put it in. You find out he's already being tracked by Lord Ruthven. And guess what, motherfucker? Lord Ruthven fight is now fighting in your bar. Right. So you can still accomplish the Lord Ruthven fight or the information about being a stalker or whatever. You're just picking up that beat and matching it to what your characters are doing. And that's like such a good GMing tool that I'm still like trying to do more of.
Right.
Just to have in like your, like, not everything has to be set in stone. It doesn't always have to like take place in a noodle shop or the professor's office.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, very nice. But I don't know.
Scenario aside, Cyberpunk Red is fantastic. Big fan.
Yeah. And what I really liked about it is, one, I really enjoyed the system. Mm-hmm. Two, I enjoyed that the setting allows for this kind of freaky, macabre horror almost. You know, I feel like you could tell a lot of different kinds of stories.
Oh yeah.
In this setting, because here's one that felt like, yeah, like this very dark, almost horror kind of story, but it doesn't have to be this. I feel like it would, but it fit perfect. It fit very naturally.
And I know we joked around like it about like this is a serious Cyberpunk game, but like Cyberpunk, especially like playing the new Cyberpunk game, there's a level of humor and overtopness to the characters, and that's why the like master, like he's this macabre, serious guy, but also then he's like, oh, and this guy also brought us a shit ton of money. Like he's obviously hamming it up, so there is like this kind of like sick, perverted humor, and like you can have it be a light game while also like not detracting of it, because the characters in the world is so over the top.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, very nice. I had a blast, and I think we should definitely play more Cyberpunk Red.
I think we should as well. Again, like I want to play Dent, you know, but I want to like be playing Dent. And yeah, there's so much stuff to explore.
Yeah. Well, in the future, you know, like we'll switch it up so that you can bring Dent in, and you know, maybe it's all part, like maybe you know a fixer whose name is Bobby John.
Yeah.
And he's not very good. But you know, he's the fixer in the background or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and we could have a conversation. We're running a little long.
Yeah.
Where like this doesn't erase Cyber plus Punk, CBR.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all.
At all. Like they're different experiences.
Right.
Like you could do the other one and take out a lot of the crunchiness. It just like with everything, it just depends on what you're in the mood for. I'm glad they both exist because they both do different things and they provide different experiences.
Yeah.
In the exact same story you want to tell.
Yeah, I do find Cyber plus Punk, the other one we played, I feel like is so well designed to come up with a run, right?
Yeah.
And then that run could last a session or two, and then you can string them together, but it's like this one I could see, even though we're running like Cyberpunk Red, the adventures, like I'm sure there's campaigns. I mean, I own old school campaigns from the original printing.
Sure.
So I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. Well, I really appreciated this, Matt. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad you pushed through its paces and wanted to take a stab at this.
Yeah, like we said, this came out of the blue. Then we made the bad joke that it came out of the red, but it did come out of nowhere, and it was a really fun exploration. I don't know, maybe at some point, once we get a better grasp on the system, maybe we'll do a Bookhouse Boys on it or something. But
yeah,
folks, that is going to do it for us. As always, thank you so much for listening and spreading the word about Black Lodge Trivia Night. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We're on social medias. There's also a Discord server if you want to come hang out with us and talk RPGs and all that stuff. But that's going to do it for us, folks.
All right. Thanks again. Take care.
Good night.
The music during the RPG session in Foundry was provided by the Foundry module Tabletop RPG Music and composed by Ian Fisher. You can find his Patreon at www.patreon.com/tabletop RPG music, all one word.